Hello, my name is Brittany Winans, and this is my diversity, discrimination, and prejudice presentation called Oppression or Criminality, Undocumented Immigrants. An introduction. We are critically analyzing the rhetoric that depicts undocumented immigrants from Central and South America as criminals, a narrative currently promoted by the new federal administration and certain conservative individuals. This discourse is being leveraged to justify mass deportations of undocumented migrants residing in the United States, as well as to rationalize acts of violence against this group. As a result, many undocumented immigrants are enduring a persistent state of fear regarding deportation and separation from their families. Many immigrants from Central and South America are seeking refuge in the United States to escape violence, war, poverty, and corrupt government systems, all in the hope of achieving a better life. Their journey to this country is fraught with danger. Members of Mexican cartels threaten to kidnap and extort immigrants attempting to cross the southern U.S. border. It can cost these individuals thousands of dollars to secure safe passage through cartel-controlled routes to the United States. Many of these individuals experience exploitation in the United States, often fearing that reporting incidents could lead to deportation. Consequently, many immigrants experience feelings of isolation and depend significantly on their cultural communities for support. They often face challenges in securing health insurance due to working in informal jobs without benefits, often earning low wages and residing in unsafe housing, all while lacking access to legal assistance. Cultural community organizations play a crucial role by providing essential services such as transportation support, assistance with obtaining driver's licenses, healthcare fundraising, and resources for childcare and meals, especially since they do not qualify for government assistance. Quantitative data. Research indicates that the data used to label immigrants as criminals is frequently misunderstood or exaggerated in order to bolster conservative immigration policies. An analysis conducted by the American Immigration Council, covering the years from 1980 to 2022, revealed that the percentage of immigrants in the U.S. population has increased from 6% to 14%. The overall crime rate experienced a significant decline. In 1980, there were 5,900 crime incidents per 100,000 individuals, and by 2022, this figure has decreased by 60%, dropping to 2,335 incidents per 100,000. Notably, violent crime rates have declined by 34%, while property crime rates fell by 63%. Being in the United States without permission is primarily an administrative issue that may result in removal. Contrary to common perceptions, unauthorized immigrants are statistically less likely to commit misdemeanor and felony offenses than both the U.S.-born citizen population and other immigrant groups. Texas uniquely monitors the relationship between immigration and crime, as it is the only state that tracks arrests and convictions according to immigration status. A federal study conducted in 2020, using data from the Texas Department of Public Safety, revealed that immigrants of all legal statuses were arrested for violent and drug-related offenses at less than half the rate of their U.S.-born counterparts, and for property crimes, they were arrested at only 1/4 of that rate. Within these categories, unauthorized immigrants in Texas demonstrated the lowest rates of offending when compared to both U.S.-born citizens and lawfully present immigrants. Qualitative research. To delve deeper into this issue, we talked to Jose Toole, a community leader and evangelical church pastor, and Sarah Lubold, a migrant educator for the SUNY Cortland Research Foundation Office of New York State, a migrant education program. We asked them questions about current migrant issues in the Finger Lakes region, as we have a large community of undocumented farm workers. Since the new administration has cracked down on immigration, many farm workers are worried about being able to unable to access basic needs, like going to the supermarket to buy groceries, going to health and dental clinics for routine and emergency care, being able to go to appointments with immigration lawyers, and get access to legal services they have a right to. Folks are fearing that they won't be safe or aren't already safe in terms of putting themselves in a position to be picked up, harassed, detained, or put into deportation proceedings. Because of this fear, immigrant communities often have to support themselves without access to government-based or community-funded programs. During our interview with Sarah Lubold, a migrant educator, we discussed the current system that operates under a do not ask, do not tell policy regarding undocumented immigrants. Many undocumented individuals miss out on essential resources and support because they fear that disclosing their immigration status could lead to negative consequences. The perception of undocumented immigrants as criminals, or the belief that their presence in the United States without proper documentation is inherently illegal, serves to label and marginalize this group. This perspective enables the denial of fundamental rights based solely on the categorization of their existence as unlawful. The notion of individuals being illegal is a social construct meant to differentiate people across various nations. However, what truly sets these individuals apart is not their geography or arbitrary borders. The significance of race and ethnicity is similarly rooted in these social constructs. We see race and ethnicity and often expect them to provide meaningful insights about a person. And as a result, we shape social policy, law, and the distribution of wealth, power, and prestige around these constructs. These ideologies are what contribute to the oppression of the undocumented migrant community. The reluctance to disclose one's immigration status stands in stark contrast to the expectation of self-disclosure prevalent in Western ideology, which suggests that being open and honest about oneself is essential for accessing services and care. However, what happens when such disclosure places an individual at risk? This dilemma significantly impacts the structure and availability of services for undocumented immigrants in the United States. And as the requirement to reveal immigration status creates a substantial barrier to accessing services and care. Recommendations and interventions. I believe that a crucial intervention for protecting the well-being of undocumented immigrants is ensuring their access to social services, regardless of their immigration status. A common argument against providing social services to undocumented immigrants is that they do not pay taxes. However, many undocumented immigrants contribute to the IRS by paying taxes. They apply for a tax identification number and fulfill this responsibility out of a sense of duty. In fact, undocumented immigrants contributed an impressive $96.7 billion in federal, state, and local taxes in 2022. Of this total, 59.4 billion went to the federal government, while the remaining 37.3 billion was allocated to state and local governments. Notably, the income tax payments made by undocumented immigrants often exceed those made by comparable U.S. citizens due to existing regulations. Additionally, many undocumented immigrants are prohibited from accessing significant tax credits and frequently miss out on refunds that they are entitled to. This is often due to a lack of awareness, concerns about their immigration status, or limited access to tax preparation assistance. Despite their substantial tax contributions, many undocumented immigrants are denied access to the benefits that their taxes help fund. Currently, in New York State, undocumented immigrants are only eligible for certain social services, such as Children's Health Insurance Program until the age of 19, and emergency Medicaid, which is restricted to emergency care only. Undocumented immigrants should have access to public services funded by their tax contributions. This is a fundamental human right. They are currently excluded from programs like SNAP or food stamps, public housing, temporary assistance for needy families, and federal or state Medicaid. We recognize the significant benefits that access to these programs can provide to underserved and vulnerable communities. Allowing undocumented immigrants to utilize these resources ensures that they receive critical support. Removing the legal status requirement for these benefits would be the most effective way to empower and assist the migrant community. Another recommendation is for undocumented immigrants to have a simpler way to citizenship. Currently, the process is lengthy and costly, often amounting to thousands of dollars. The Center for American Progress and the Global Migration Center at University of California, Davis have examined the economic implications of various proposals under consideration in Congress. Their analysis illustrates the benefits of providing undocumented immigrants with a pathway to citizenship for the nation. Such legislation would enhance productivity and wages, not only for those who achieve legal status, but also for all American workers. Allowing for undocumented immigrants in the U.S. to gain citizenship would increase the U.S. gross domestic product, or GDP, by over $1.7 trillion over a decade, leading to the creation of approximately 438,000 new jobs. This analysis focused solely on the immediate economic benefits. It did not account for the potential positive impacts on the children of eligible immigrants, such as improvements in education, health, and the future earning potential, which may become apparent more than 10 years after these changes have been implemented. It is crucial for social workers who interact with undocumented immigrants to be well versed in the realities faced by millions within these communities. A lack of understanding about the services available to individuals without legal status in the U.S. can result in the harmful spread of advice that jeopardizes our undocumented clients, potentially leading to arrests, deportation, or even more severe consequences. Given the current climate in the United States, where the federal government poses a threat of detention in perilous facilities like Guantanamo Bay or even in El Salvador, it is imperative that we protect the legal status of our undocumented clients from ICE and other law enforcement agencies. According to the Social Work Code of Ethics, social workers must protect clients' confidentiality during legal proceedings to the fullest extent the law allows. When a court or other legally authorized entity orders social workers to disclose confidential or privileged information without the client's consent, and such disclosure could cause harm, social workers should endeavor to have the court withdraw the order or limit as narrowly as possible, or seek to maintain the records under seal, making them inaccessible for public inspection. Furthermore, social workers are responsible for engaging in social and political action to ensure that all individuals have equal access to the resources, employment, services, and opportunities necessary to meet their basic human needs and to achieve their full potential. Social workers must be aware of the influence of the political landscape on their practice and advocate for policy and legislative changes that enhance social conditions, meet fundamental human rights, and promote social justice. We can effectively support our undocumented clients by promoting initiatives such as access to social services and a clearer pathway to citizenship. Thank you for watching my presentation. I have provided my citations for your review, and I highly encourage you to explore them in more depth. I am excited to hear your questions and comments.